What is going on, guys? Tempo Trades. In today's video, we're going to be going over some of the trades that I've taken recently. These trades are going to be with the IFEG setup, and it includes where I got a 5-figure payout with bull knocks. So, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Hopefully you learned something. Let's get into it. All right, so here is trade number one. And again, this is kind of just textbook right here. I'm seeking out liquidity and I am looking for a reversal. So this was a pre-market low. It looks like an hourly low because it happened right after the open. Price came down here, swept out this low at 8:30, and then instantly started that reversal. I had to chase on this candle because of all the volatility. And here was my fill. So I already trimmed some. I'm already up 80 points. Jeez, that was like 80 points instantly, but held 3 micros there. So looks like a really nice trade. Again, would have loved to have a cleaner close, would have been easier to get in, but that's kind of what happens when you decide to trade around the open. It's just going to be super volatile, very, very hectic. But again, textbook stuff here. You look for liquidity on the left. We have sell side. You wait for that liquidity to be swept. That's an A+ reaction. It wicks it, instantly reverses. Pretty much what I look for every single day here. All right, guys, moving on to trade number 2. It wouldn't be a recap video if we didn't have a data set up. So this tweet, I made $29,000 on this trade with all my funded accounts. You could see on the top left, we had a data wick at 8:30. The top gets wicked and swept. And then a little bit later on, about that looks to be like 8:35, I enter an IFEG, and we go all the way down to that data low right there for about, what is that? That's more than 100. That's like 120 points of profit. So absolutely insane. Here was my fill once again. For most of my trades, I do show my executions. I have nothing to hide, but so if I do post them here, you'll see on my Twitter. So yeah, you could see really, really nicely there. Easy 100-point trade. Data wicks are the best types of setups, man. What's going on, guys? Just an FYI, every single trade in this video was taken live in my premium Discord. So if you want to come join and even learn something, now is the time. Click the link in the description. Just here are some of my call outs. I say I'm in short NQ, and then the trade works right here. So, I have a ton of reviews, ton of testimonials. You could just go through my channel right here and see for yourself. All right, guys, this is a really important one to talk about. So I was on a 48-day win streak. To this day, that is my best win streak. I've been on a 48, I've been on a 29 or 28, and I'm currently on an 18 as I'm recording this video. But I was on a 48-day win streak in March, trading the same exact setup every single day, and this was the day I lost it. The craziest part about all this, man, this trade would have been a winner. It would have been a winner if I just didn't get manipulated here. So again, when you trade the inverted fair value gap, a lot of the times your stop loss is going to be a candle close below or above the gap. That invalidates the IFEG. But sometimes, when price is already in your stop loss zone and there's a lot of time left on the candle, you just have to make a decision, because if you hold your position for a minute or 2 minutes while it's in your stop loss zone, you can double or even triple the intended loss. So for this trade specifically, I got in long. Price was in my stop loss zone. I decided to get out. What happened? It wicked me, manipulated me, and then went right where I wanted it to go for a win. So yeah, this one sucks. It hurts, but it is what it is. I'm not perfect. And, maybe in the future, if we get this opportunity again, we can fix it. But that is March 10th. I actually ended up losing my win streak. All right, guys, so here is the next setup, another data low sort of candle. So this is really, really good momentum here. You can see we get the IFEG at the top with kind of a V-shaped momentum. That is the best type of pattern for the IFEGs. You go target those lows, and then obviously the ultimate target is the data low. But in the tweet, I actually say that we missed it, which is nuts. So this trade ended up hitting 100 points in profit, but actually missed the data low by like 10 points or so here. So the points I said, data wick reversal, V-shape entry, 100 points captured. That's really the main reason why I took this trade. It's just kind of a drawn liquidity play to that data low. And then you have the amazing momentum to pair with it. So I don't see any major liquidity sweeps or anything like that, but setups like these can definitely still work. All right, we move on to March 20th. This is kind of just the bread and butter, man. We double sweep those overnight highs. So again, if you have not downloaded the indicator, download ICT kill zones and pivots. That will automatically map out your London and Asia ranges, so you can look for setups off of those sweeps, right? So we sweep the London and Asia high. Now I'm looking for a reversal away from this area. We go to the IFEG, enter short on the close, and we're really just targeting these swing points. You know, you see these little swing points here, these bottom wicks. Those are just great targets. Those are great TP areas. This one goes for about another 100 points. I was on fire in March. Feels like every trade was 100 points, but really, really nice trade here as well. And it looks like I alerted this in front of 200 people trading live in the Discord. You could see on the right all the people who took that with me. So really, really nice. Okay, this is kind of a unique setup here. So this is actually utilizing what I call 50% of the daily range, right? So if we go to our charts here, what I like to do is mark out the daily range, right? The daily range starts at 6 p.m. and it will go on until current time. So right here on NQ, we have our daily range. If you draw the low, which is down here, to the high right here, your midpoint is that 50% level, right? A lot of the time, what you're gonna see is this is gonna act as support and resistance. Price is gonna come down, tap the 50% level, and then continue higher. So what I like to do is I like to pair this resistance level to the IFEGs, right? So you could see here in this tweet, we come down, we tap that 50% level. I'm now looking for a move away back into the range, and I pair that with the IFEG setup, and we capture a quick like 40 points, it looks like right here, just before the 10 a.m. news, you know? So this is not my bread and butter. You know, if I had to rate my liquidity sweep plays, those are going to be my A setups, my bread and butter. These types of setups are going to be your B plus types of setups. They still do work and they still have great efficiency, so I take them from time to time, but you know, I just wanted to showcase them here. You could also see, you know, called this play out perfectly before it even happened. There's no hindsight here. We call out price accurately every single day on live. All right, guys, and last but not least, we have another drawn liquidity play here. So really, it's just about having those Asia and London highs stacked on top of each other. We know price wants to go gravitate to those areas because there's a ton of resting orders. There's a ton of liquidity sitting there, right? So I find a good sized IFEG and I just go take it and kind of ride the trend up to the drawn liquidity, right? So this one right here was about an 80-point win, and it's, I mean, very, very textbook. You know, I'm only risking about 20 points, and I'm making 100, so it's an insane risk to reward. It makes sense, right? I'm going with the trend here, so nice setup. Again, I wouldn't give this an A setup or anything like that, but these are B plus setups. All right, guys, and that kind of concludes some of the highlights for my March trades. Remember, every single trade I took in this video was taken on live, so if you want to go check me out in the Discord, I live trade every single day. Here is one of the payouts, Bullnox, 5 figures, love Bullnox, favorite prop firm. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. Hopefully you learned something. See you on the next one. Peace.